You're putting long tube headers on his 1995 truck. How is that gonna work? How's that gonna work, Jack?
We're gonna send it.
All right, y'all, so I'm back. I know it's been a long time. I feel like I haven't been home in forever, and I really haven't. I've been out of town, had to go to a friend's wedding, and then me and Olivia kind of took a little Labor Day weekend trip. Actually saw a Frank Foster concert in Louisiana, and we're just kind of around the Texarkana and Lake Caddo area, which is a really cool lake. But I'm back, and as promised, I didn't promise you guys, I just asked you, and you guys all said in the comments you want to see me do this. So I'm gonna do the motor swap on the green Goblin truck here, my buddy Jack's truck. So this baby right here will not be raced until September 30th at Antioch. So I got some time to do the quick motor swap on the truck. She's got 300,000 miles on it, and she's tired, and we also want to put some long tube headers on it. So I'm gonna do that real quick and pull this bad boy out, park her somewhere in the shade or something, and then bring her back in after the motor swap's done, and get to work on it again, do some more stuff. I have not touched the car since I put the wagon wheel air cleaner on that you guys had a lot of mixed opinions on, and also did the whole rear end, I guess, maintenance. We'll pulled the gear out and cleaned it all out and fixed the wheel bearing and inner axle seals, all that junk. So she's almost, I'd probably say 90% ready, but we gotta do some more stuff on it for sure. So I'm gonna pull it out and get the motor swapping. Mr. Chicken back in action. All right, see if this old girl will fire up after sitting for a month, pretty much. 7. New home for a couple days. All right, so you probably could call this truck the Spider-Man truck, because there is an insane amount of freaking cobwebs already. Black widows, daddy long legs, you name it. So hopefully I'll survive this engine swap. All right, this thing has been rednectified like crazy. I hate these stupid ass clamps. Yeah, both these guys are supposed to go in there. All right, let's see if this bad boy is gonna start for me here. Left the battery unhooked for a while to try to prevent it from, oh, I guess it wasn't locked, huh? Wow. It was a fail on me. Yeah, so I was trying to prevent that battery from draining down while it's been sitting here. Let's see what's gonna happen here. Ho, ho, ho! She comes alive. And just so y'all know, this is not my car. I do not keep my cars like this. No way. Love me. Wow, she's been sitting under the tree for a little while. Throw all the shit off of here. Alright guys, as you may or may not know, I'm a mechanic, so I do this stuff for a living. And if there's one thing I absolutely hate about working on cars, it's the feeling of coolant on my hands. I don't know what it is. I just cannot stand it. So got my little glove out. I'm gonna get this coolant starting to drain here. Radiator hose coming off the water pump right now. I think I'll just let it go ahead and leak slowly into the pan so it'll make a big old mess, if that's even physically possible. I guess it's not possible at all. It's just filling up his lift kit. Isn't that nice? It'll come out 17 different holes for sure. Cool. All right, so I know this is not a racing video, and I'm not even sure if Skylar's watching, but Skylar, you are the freaking man. That light is so handy to be working outside with. Got all the bolts out for the top part of the shroud here. Easy peasy is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts. So I guess I should have specified this is a 1995 Chevy 4x4 truck. That is, I think a 6-inch lift. I'm not really sure. Anyways, getting this drive belt off now. Put a power pipe on it. Unload it. Try to use 2 hands. Bada bing. Bada boom. How you doing? Oh, I just saw the booger. He's in there. Not anymore. Alright, I just busted the 4 bolts out of the water pump here. All the same size. And I'm going to try to get this guy out of the way and put it over there so I don't have to mess all this stuff, because I know that these things like to be brittle and break, so I'm going to try to avoid all that mess by just pulling it out of the way with everything on with the fan. I'm not sure if I can do this, but I'm going to try. Put the camera down. Alright, so I gave up on the water pump trying to get out of there like it was. So I went ahead and just pulled this AC compressor over here to the side. It's just 3 bolts, no big deal. You gotta kind of pry to get it out. One thing about these dang trucks that are like in the early 90s, mid 90s is it seems like half the bolts are metric and half the bolts are standard. So you guys better have both sets on you. Anyways, I'm gonna bust off this little idler there because I can't get the bolt that's behind it in there. I already got the one on the bottom and the one here. But there's one back there, so I'm gonna have to bust this guy off real quick. Oh, look at that. Alright, did. Just kidding. Alright, so a little word of advice is that is actually a nut on a stud, so you got to get a deep socket on it. It's an I/16. I already busted it off. Man, I feel like this channel on YouTube I watch a lot. It's not a racing channel. It's this good old boy in Mississippi. Bow tie guy, like 603 or something like that. He's always working on all these old classic or junk, whatever you want to call it, Chevy trucks and whatnot, and small block Chevys, 305s, 350s. He does all kinds of cool stuff on that channel. So I feel like him right now with just the bare essential tools. This is a stud right here, and I got this trick little stud puller. You can just double nut it if you want to and then back it out. But I got the AC compressor and the water pump all bungee corded here. A man's best and worst friend out of the way. All right, guys, so what I do in these kind of situations where I'm working on something I'm not always working on, because this is an old car and I mostly just work on new cars at work, put every single bolt back and bracket, especially because you're not doing it all in one day. This is going to probably take me at least a week or so working after I get home from work when it's dark and stuff, so I won't forget because it's going to be there. So I'll do that, and I'll put all the bolts and the nut with the stud back in the hole, just like that. Alright, so something that always amazes me about these old trucks, especially these Chevy trucks in general, is this thing is 1995, right? This is an old connector, right? And I can just go ahead and pop this guy right off and it don't break. It seems like all the new cars I'm working on that are 10 years old, all this plastic is so brittle. I don't know why these old trucks don't, but I guess they're just using good material back in the day, and hey, they don't make them like they used to, right? All right, so one nice thing about videotaping as you go is you can always look back and look at it. So if I'm confused on where some stuff's gonna go, I'll just be like, all right, well that guy went to that bolt right there, and this positive wire came all the way through here underneath the air cleaner. Everything's got its perk nowadays, especially when you're working here at the nights and pit stop, enjoying yourself. The only thing that's missing is a nice ice cold beer in my hand right now. All right, here's another example of some high quality clips. These things are on the throttle body, on the fuel injectors. Look how easy these things bend, just come right off. No brittleness, and these things are submerged, not submerged, but they're very close to some fuel vapors and stuff, so that's crazy. Good material. GM Chevrolet, can't go wrong. All right, so I had to bring home a power steering pulley puller, as you can see right there, because on these models there's a bolt that's right basically there behind the power steering pump there, right there. It's enclosed and you can't get to it unless you pull the pump out. And like I was telling you, that guy's channel, Bowtie Guy 601, I think it is, now that I think about it a little more, one of his videos, he was saying that you could actually, when you have this thing off, you can shave down this bracket a little bit so you can access that bolt like an open end wrench, and you don't have to pull this puller off and the power steering pump off to do it. So that's something I'll definitely be doing once this thing's off. All right, got this power steering pump dropped down out of the way after I pulled this bracket off the back side of this thing, like that. So now you can see that that bolt I was telling you guys about right there. I can get that bolt out, no problem. Other way. So that's on that side, yeah. All right, working on pulling the distributor out now. I just marked it on TDC, just like that. I got the owner of the truck here, Morgan Wallen, Jack Grillmaster. He's just mocking up the headers right now. I'm gonna try to figure out where we're gonna cut the exhaust at. I'm gonna measure between probably here and where the end of the collector is. I'll go ahead and cut it maybe a couple inches longer than that, because they got the collector extensions, and I'm not sure if the exhaust is gonna line up with it very well. Probably not. Probably do some customization on it, but that's the starting step there. And probably some of you guys are like, wait, he's got California plates and you're putting long tube headers on his 1995 truck. How is that gonna work? How's that gonna work, Jack?
We're gonna send it.
No smog.
No smog.
He's got a connection. All right, just right about now, ready to pull the intake manifold off. But I was talking about earlier, just like that, got a nice ice cold beer here, my Dale Earnhardt koozie with some pickle punch. Dalton, if you're watching, thank you, brother. Turn me on to this stuff, delicious. Signature move, cap off. If I can get this bad boy open. Yes, sir. All right. Cracked her open real nice. Hopefully she'll cooperate and just pop right out. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, yeah, baby. Barely even tore a gasket. All right, just want to show you all that it's time for a break. When I say a break, I mean a freezer burn, hot dog and hamburger break. Oh, his hands are dirty. Oh, it's nasty. Well, guess what? It's gonna get burned off anyways, right?
Yep.
That's Jack. Early. All right, if you guys have seen it once, you've seen it a million times, but I'm gonna show you one more time. The hamburger hot dog, baby. All right, there's the intake. And I just got through cutting off the exhaust manifolds and pipes and stuff, all this janky old tiny pipe that they had routed through there. And about 4 beers in last night, Jack looked at me, he's like, hey, why don't we take off the hood? I was like, that's a great idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. It's because didn't have enough beers in me to be thinking clearly. So I pull off the hood, got a lot more room to work with here, and I am now currently test fitting the headers in here before I do the motor swap, so I can do it as seamless and easy as possible and not scratch as much of the motor as I can when I do it the second time, for the final time. So this side just went in super easy. Boom. I didn't have any kind of clearance issues with the oil filter there or the drive shaft down there. So that side was just cake. This side is a little rougher. I had to go actually from the bottom up. I didn't stick it in from the top like I did on that side. Came from the bottom up, and it took me a little while. You can see I was kind of scraping it right here. But this paint doesn't last very long on these headers. They're just kind of to keep it from rusting in the box. This paint burns off in like a nanosecond as you just start it up, so I'm not worried about it. And he don't want to spend the money for ceramic coated headers, so they're not gonna last very long, but whatever. Anyways, I got it sitting there good, and I got a system down to get it in and out easily. So I'm gonna pull it out and show you what I'm talking about. All right, so I've seen a couple other YouTube videos on people doing these long tube header installs on the C1500 and K1500 trucks. And I thought I was gonna have some issues. I thought I was gonna have to go ahead and actually take a mallet to the header, some of the primary tubes. That's not the case. This thing fits in perfectly with no modifications to the header, because I guess on the older trucks they had like this bracket that came up here on both sides for the upper control arm, and on this truck they're mounted lower, so that's not an issue. And so what I had to do to get this thing in there nice and easy is run into some clearance problems with this guy right here. That's the heat shield for the starter motor. I kind of banged that in a little bit. I also went ahead and kind of smashed this, I don't know what you want to call that, heat shield for the wiring. And it helped a little bit, but what helped the most, and I think what you could probably just get away with doing only, and that is smacking that heat shield right there. So don't worry, it's not the firewall. There's quite a bit of clearance between the heat shield and the firewall, so right about there is where I took them out and just smashed it all the way up till it's flush with the firewall, and that header just slides right up super easy now. So that's the way you can do it. I just figured I'd show you guys the new motor before I paint it real quick. I'm gonna put a fresh coat of black engine paint on it, but this is what I want to show you. I used some standard small block Chevy head gas or intake gaskets on here with a standard small block Chevy intake, and it's got the original pattern on there. It doesn't have the TBI pattern. And what I did is I just used the outer perimeter bolts, so these 8 bolts here and there, and I did not use the center ones. This is what I did. I shoved a little bolt in there with some RTV, and then if you think about it, the Vortec heads only have the intake bolts on the outside here too, so it's pretty much the same thing. This thing ran fine, no intake leaks, so if you guys want to try to fit a regular manifold on your TBI motor, it can be done. All right, check it out. I figured I'd just show you guys what it looks like with a fresh coat of black paint on it. Popping pretty good. Don't worry about this intake manifold, it ain't going on it. This is just my painting intake manifold. Every time I paint a motor, I throw this hunk of junk on. It's got orange on it, black on it, silver on it, a little bit of everything. Anyways, I'm gonna end this video now because I hate watching YouTube videos that are like 40 minutes long. So I'm just gonna make this video 2 parts. So end it now. Check out the next video, part 2.